We found the juice.
We've all been there, scrolling through our daily feed only to discover that yet another person
Shut up. This girl just looks like she's got the juice. She looks way too excited to tell the juice and try to cancel Picasso. All right, guys, in this video, we're going to try our hardest to cancel Picasso.
Point appreciated, has said terrible things or committed odious acts. Artists and art professionals have certainly been among them, and the dead are not immune to our judgment, as Hannah Gadsby demonstrates so well in her epic takedown of
Yo, is she upspeaking on us? Is it me or is she doing upspeak?
Pablo Picasso in her Netflix special Nanette.
He said, each time I leave a woman, I should burn her. Destroy the woman, you destroy the past she represents. Goodbye. The greatest artist of the 20th century.
Picasso's mistreatment of women and flagrant misogyny has been no secret to anyone who has studied his work or read anything about his life. But where does that leave us with his actual art? What do we do when we encounter it in a book or museum?
All right, guys. Hey, I wish I could put a poll on screen. All right, guys. What's the bets? What do we do when we encounter his work, even though he's a womanizer? What do we do? What do you think she's gonna say? Cancel him? Don't like it? What do you think she's gonna say?
Can we divorce the art from the artist? And should we? On one of my first trips to New York as a high school student, I saw a show at the Museum of Modern Art of work by the artist Chuck Close. It blew me.
Yo, Chuck Close. I've met Chuck Close. In person, in a wheelchair. Funny thing about me, I met him like 3 years ago. I was at an event here in DC at the National Portrait Gallery, taking photos for a local magazine. Yeah, she wants to cancel real bad. You could tell. Something about the bangs and that black framed glasses. She wants to cancel so bad. Let's just see. What are the odds? Okay, guys, what are the odds? Do you think she wants to cancel? Yes or no in the chat. But no, I met Chuck Close, and he was apparently a crazy womanizer too, but he has money. And guess who was with Chuck Close while at that function? Guess who's with him? Now, hold up. Let me just give you an idea at this point. At this point in time, Chuck Close he's like paralyzed from like the neck down. He could barely paint. I think he paints like his mouth or something like that. But he was with the hottest girl ever. Chuck Close was with the baddest girl at the function.
God damn, Tang. I ain't never heard no shit like this.
I know, that's amazing.
Facts, dude, I'm telling you, Chuck Close, he was like the worst looking dude at the function, but he was with the baddest girl at the function. Like, I can't make this shit up. Literally, it's this dude who, if he didn't tell you was Chuck Close, he's literally wheelchair bound, and he's like barely able to move it, and he's kind of like this overweight old guy. I mean, he's old, he's overweight, right? He's rolling through, and then there's just this hot girl, like mid-20s, tall, like I think in my mind she's like 6 foot, with Chuck Close. I'm just like, oh, we all know what she's doing. All right, anyways.
Away. His enormous portraits were not only astounding to me technically and optically, but also left me in this strange but enjoyable headspace of being intimately close in proximity to a person without actually knowing anything about them. This uncanny feeling of simultaneous nearness and distance feels even more pronounced to me when his subjects are famous people. When I read the recent accounts of a number of women who had humiliating experiences in his studio, I was bummed out. I felt bad.
Wait, hold up.
Who had humiliating experiences in his studio. I was bummed out. And also disappointed because I knew I'd never look at one of his pictures the same way again. No criminal allegations were.
Uh-oh. Say it. You know you want to say it. Say the C word. She wants to say the C word. And that detail was crazy on that Kate Moss photo. That's a drawing. I was thinking that. Look at that. That's insane. That's archival pigment print. Wait a minute. No, that's photography. Archival pigment print. Right? Or is that... I don't know.
Feels even more pronounced to me when his subjects are famous people. When I read the recent accounts of a number of women who had humiliating experiences in his studio, I was bummed out. I felt badly for the women to whom it had happened.
Facts.
And also disappointed because I knew I'd never look at one of his pictures the same way again. No criminal allegations were brought, and he apologized, and you can read all about it yourself. But
she sounds bummed out that no criminal allegations were brought.
Now, when I look at one of his works, I think about what the interaction might have been between the artist and the sitter. Was
that's
this a
actually
friend and the process a happy, consensual one? Or an awkward or strained situation where the sitter was too embarrassed to object or leave? Why are some sitters asked to pose nude and others clothed? Which ones are paid models and which ones are not? I still marvel.
She's sitting there like in her head like, how do I cancel this one? She goes, what's the angle for canceling Chuck Close on this photo? She's like, I like it, but how do I find the victim in this painting?
Marvel at the technical math.
I don't know. Like, look, I'm not saying that it's okay that Chuck Close or Pablo Picasso were terrible people to some extent, but I'm sure in anyone's life that you can find. She's definitely fishing. I'm sure in any artist's life you could find some terrible shit. In any person's life you could find the good and the bad. Turns out when you're famous, the bad just creates a terrible shadow on the good. And now you got people trying to cancel while they're looking at art. I mean, I do think that brings an interesting element to the discussion. Like, okay, if Chuck Close was this womanizer, or if Picasso was this womanizer and he liked young girls and shit, where like trying to see that in his art, I mean, I that's an interesting perspective. Maybe that adds something there, right? But trying to find like a reason, I don't know. Let's hear what she has to say. We're only 2 minutes in.
Mastery in front of me. But now I'm also more aware not only of the artist's act of looking and making the picture, but also my own role as an observer of whatever is.
Yo, can we get a moment for this camera? Can we get a moment for Can we get a moment for this transformer of a wheelchair Chuck Close? How is he standing up? Yo, hold, I gotta full screen this. I'm pretty sure wheelchairs aren't supposed to do this. I'm pretty sure wheelchairs aren't supposed to pop a wheelie like this. Yo, what? What kind of a wheelchair is this? Chuck Close got the Star Trek wheelchair. He's just popping wheelies on us like out of nowhere. What? That's crazy.
And was happening. Our reading of an artwork is always affected by the information we have or don't have about it. Sometimes we have a choice in the matter, like whether we read an object label in a museum, or read articles or books about an exhibition or artist. If you don't have that information, you have a greater chance of a pure reading of it. But other times we don't choose what we learn. Maybe a friend had a bad run-in with the artist, or you hear something anecdotally, or a story breaks and you happen to see it in your feed. This works both ways, by the way. More information can have a positive impact on an artwork as well. Maybe you read an
Yeah, this girl brunches hard. You know she brunches real hard on Sunday.
interview with an artist who's really rad, and the next time you see their work, you like it more because of it. Maybe when you took that art class to fulfill that credit, you happened to learn about the amazing work of Leonora Carrington. And so the next time you come across it, you're more inclined to like it and give it more attention. Earlier this year, when allegations of inappropriate sexual behavior were swirling around photographer Nicholas Nixon, he asked that the ICA Boston take down their exhibition of his work early, stating, "I
Did he cancel himself? This dude canceled himself.
believe it's impossible for these photographs to be viewed on their own merits any longer." Now, art is almost never viewed purely on its
Damn, he canceled himself pre-cancel culture. This was in 2018.
viewed on their own merits any longer. Now, art is almost never viewed purely on its own merit. There are often cues that tell us something is important or unimportant, but I think Nixon was right. It would have been difficult for the art-going public in Boston to appreciate his pictures in the same way that they might have a few months before. I've long adored his series of photographs of his wife and her 3 sisters, taken once annually since 1975. There
Wow.
are so many things to appreciate as you watch these sisters develop and evolve.
Good-looking family,
The photographer's
Jesus.
presence is only occasionally visible in a shadow, but is always palpable in the extreme
Wow, that was
intimacy
so
and
cool.
comfort that feels apparent between Nixon and his subjects. It's up to me now whether or how I reconcile
Hold up. Can we do some like 4chan shit real quick? Which one you choosing? Which one you choosing, dog? Which one? Let me know.
once
Just kidding, guys.
annually
Don't answer
since
that question. I'm
1975.
just trolling. I'm trolling.
There are
Guys, please don't take me that seriously.
so many things to appreciate as you watch these sisters develop and evolve. The photographer's presence is only occasionally visible in a shadow, but is always palpable in the extreme intimacy and comfort that feels apparent between Nixon and his subjects. It's up to me now whether or how I reconcile my
I'm sorry. Accusations were swirling around, and he removes his exhibition out of like a prestigious place. I just just infuriates me.
knowledge of the artist with
Not because of whether he did it or not, but just the fact that like it's swirling. It's like an on the horizon allegation. As a photographer, right? Like I'm only like 3-4 years into my career, maybe 4 at this point. And I've had hundreds, if not thousands, of interactions with models and different people across the industry. They're not always A+. You can't leave every interaction amazing. Like, I'm not saying like they were bad in the sense of like a sexual way or anything like that, but like nothing's ever perfect. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so crazy that one person could literally just like ruin your whole life's work. This guy worked his whole life probably to get into this gallery, or at least it was a big achievement for him. And just because of swirling accusations, he's like, take it down, quick, take it down, take it down. People are gonna look at this and think I'm a whatever his accusations are. I don't know.
because it also matters how much the work itself reminds you of the odious acts, right? Like, it's
No.
pretty easy to see misogyny in some of Picasso's work.
Uh-oh, here we go, guys. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go down the cancel rabbit hole. We're cancel Picasso today.
When I look at a Carl Andre sculpture, I'm not immediately compelled to think about who he is as a person. But it's impossible not to think about when looking at a painting of nude Tahitian girls by an artist who we know married 3 different Tahitian girls ages 13, 14, and 14 and infected them with syphilis.
Oh no, what?
And I would
Yo, what?
to think about who he is as a person. But it's impossible not to think about when looking at a painting of nude Tahitian girls by an artist who we know married 3 different Tahitian girls ages 13, 14, and 14 and infected them with syphilis. And I would
Bruh.
God damn, Tang, I ain't never heard no shit like this.
I know that's a
You suck!
And I would definitely start to think about it if he was still alive and I was to say, consider purchasing his work. Because part of this equation is considering who reaps the financial rewards of our attention, right? When another YouTuber does something stupid and everyone gets upset about it, do I want to go watch the offending video? Heck yes! But do I? Heck no.
Wait, you don't? Time out. We all wanted to see Logan Paul's Japan Forest video after it happened. Did I watch it? Heck yes.
I can't bear to think I'll be a single digit in that view count or contribute financially in any way to that person and their fame. Our
Yeah, don't give him that view. Yeah.
attention matters, and it's also being closely monitored, amounting to ad
I'm probably gonna cancel for making this whole segment. Shit.
dollars and influencing boardroom decisions about what kind of stuff gets made. Even if the artist is long gone and profits little from our attention, we still send a message to the powers that be that we're willing to look at and appreciate work by artists who behave in certain ways. We communicate more broadly to everyone around us that it's okay if you're a jerk. If you make good stuff, we'll consume it.
I like
So
that.
even if the past is past, which it never is, we're affecting what gets seen today.
This girl pretty much is cancel culture. She is cancel culture in a nutshell.
And in the future. So what do? There's always the old asterisk approach, where you talk about the good stuff, but are sure to mention the bad stuff too. Art museums tend to do this awkwardly and inconsistently, and I don't envy their conundrum. Another approach is to reclaim the work in some way. Like Amber Ruffin's hilarious proposal on Late Night with Seth Meyers, making guilt-free alternatives to art created by problematic men.
Hang it in your house, and when people are like, "Ooh, is that a Picasso?" say, "No, it was made by someone who respects women."
Or you can think of Jewish conductor Daniel
Ha
Barenboim's hugely contentious decision to perform the work of Richard Wagner, known anti-Semite and influencer of Hitler, at a concert in Israel. I don't think there should be some
gangster shit.
giant reckoning where we unearth buried wrongdoings and purge our museums and art history books
Are you sure? Because it kind of sounds like that's what you want.
of any artist who's ever done something offensive. Our museums are the holders of our histories and should express the good with the bad. But when someone comes forward attesting to wrongdoings, or when in the course of research they're uncovered, there's no putting the cat back in the bag. People have a right to share their stories, and we have a right to hear the stories they want to share. And then it's on us to
God, her upspeak is just driving me crazy.
weigh that knowledge with the work in question and make our own decisions
Do you guys know what upspeak is?
about how and whether we let it affect our actions. Each case is different, and there are so many different facets to take into account. Aside from the nature of the offense and however seriously you take it, is the work a collaborative effort where the offending party is just one contributor out of many? Does the work not only remind you of the offense, but in any way
This is a very famous piece right here. Picasso, Les Demoiselles d'Avignon. Basically, the hookers.
reflect or promote the
I've seen this work in person here in DC.
value system of the offender? Can we excuse a sexist, anti-Semitic scientist for their discoveries, but not an artist whose work is perceived as less measurably transformative in the world? Who suffers when the offender's work remains accessible? And
suffers?
conversely,
Who
who
suffers?
suffers when their work is no longer part of our cultural heritage?
I'm not suffering 'cause
Look,
of it.
you can make quality art and do bad things, but you should know that there will be consequences when those bad things are revealed.
Yeah, so upspeak is basically this girl's entire life. Upspeak is when you talk in a manner. I'll pull up a video just so I can clarify further. But upspeak is basically like when someone talks to you in like a manner that's it like literally it means it goes up at the end of their speech. Oh, you don't know what Picasso is? Like, oh, it's like how a snarky person talks. It's like how this girl talks. Like, oh, should we cancel them? I don't know.
The cat will never go back in the bag. You can
See, in the bag. That's up talk.
try to get rid of it, get it spayed or neutered so that it doesn't make more cats like it. Or you can come to terms with the cat, try to reform it, or accept it for the compromised companionship it can offer. Okay, no more cat metaphor, I promise. But realize
You suck!
that it is a choice that you're making. We all play our part in the celebrity worshiping culture that we're mired in, and which has made it increasingly difficult for any of us to seriously consider separating the artist from the art.
All right, cool. We get it.